This video is made possible by the following sponsors. Make sure to check out their products as well as the rest of my gear in the description below.
Hey guys, Primary Randolph here and welcome back to Assetto Corsa for another video. Today we are back with the latest episode of our Nordschleife challenge, with the star of the show being the Rotary powered Mazda 787B. The 787B was built to compete in the glorious Group C era of sports car racing, and this very car, in fact, the number 55, is most famous for winning the 1991 24 Hours of Le Mans. I was barely a week old when this car won at Le Mans, making it the first sports car to win at Le Mans in my lifetime, which is something pretty cool actually. The thing that made this car stand out from other cars in the Group C era is that it was powered by a 4-rotor rotary engine, which produced about 700 horsepower and around 450 foot-pounds of torque. And before you guys start commenting, oh lol, my apex skills, reliability, lol lol lol, in the comments below, the reason why this car won at Le Mans, among some weird decisions from the governing body, is that nothing went wrong. The only thing that went wrong with this car over a 24-hour period is one of the headlight bulbs needed changing. That was it. So whilst it's not one of the fastest Group C cars ever created, it's probably one of the most spectacular, and I'm looking forward to trying to wrestle it around the green hell. Well, green and orange hell, apparently. I'm very curious to see if this will beat the 962 or not. I'm going to say probably not. But let's go see how fast the king of all rotaries can lap the Nordschleife. You see, this is why I just love VR. I am inside right now a Mazda 787B, one of my sports car icons. Well, sort of inside, but you get the idea. All of the detail in the cockpit here, even the shifter is in a similar place to my own shifter, which is just massive nerdgasm right there. That aside though, let's talk about the setup on this car and what it's like to drive before we sort of get going. Setup wise, I'm running quite a lot of wing, and the reason for that is that this car is, well, it's just a dog. The best way to compare it would be to compare it to a Minardi F1 car. Not particularly good at anything and still very difficult to drive. Fun to drive, but difficult. So with that out of the way, shall we get going? Now our time to beat really is a 6:26. That was the time set by the 962. Oh, I love Rotary. I'm not sure we're going to be able to do it, of course, but we will do our best. So, just about to start our lap then. Down to first gear for the last corner. And let's do it. Let's unleash the 4-rotor on the green hell. Big slide up the last corner for good measure. And then brake nice and early down to T1. I want to get nice and tight to that apex. Very good. Soft on the throttle on the way out. Still sideways. Second gear, then down to third gear for Hats and Back. It's just a dab of the brake through here to get the nose in, then back on the throttle right to the outside. Nice. Fourth gear, then we're going to go down to third and down to second. Right foot braking on the way in. Nice and tidy through here. The rear end is constantly trying to come around. You see, you have to be quite progressive on the throttle. You'll see that sometimes I won't manage that on this lap. Right onto the runoff there. Then first gear down the hill. We're in a rotary, so we're going to be using as many revs as much of the time as possible. Very good. Now up into fourth gear, coming up to the fluke patch. Give me just a dab of the brake to get the nose down, make sure we don't take off. There you go, dab of the brake over. Soft on the way in, a little bit tardy on the first apex there, but fast through regardless. Now we're going to let the 4-rotor just run away, show us what it's got. Up into fifth gear. 700 horses behind, propelling me along. 304 k's before going down to fourth. With this long left-hander, then long braking zone. You see the car moving around there, a little bit of a lock on the way in, but just about managing to get to the apex. Sliding on the way out just to satisfy the fans. Oh, shish. This car moves around a lot on the brakes in a straight line everywhere. Fifth gear through the compression, fourth gear, then we throw it in over the curb on the inside. Third gear, second gear, a little bit bad there with slowing down, but we still carry speed, which isn't too bad. Now first gear through this section. Watch my right foot, nice and soft, and go. Got to try and be careful when taking this car in a straight line. Doesn't quite like it that much. Fourth gear through this section. Actually left foot braking through here now before we go from fourth. Block shift down to second. Soft on the throttle through here because the road gets away from you quite easy. There you go. We go down to first here. Find our white marker. There it is. Hit that. Ish. Soft on the exit there. Car wants to just oversteer all the time. Get it into the groove there. Nice. Now for miss, hit, miss. Again, left foot braking through here because we aren't shifting down the gear, so we can use our left foot. We're going to need our... Oh, I thought I was in a different gear then. Misshift down to first, but we didn't lose too much time, thankfully. Just putting some extra stress on the engine. It's fine, it loves it. Third gear, and again down to second, bring it in. Soft on the exit, a bit of understeer there. It's very common to get that on that part of the circuit. Going to use first here just for the exit. 700 horses, there it is on the exit, nice. So we can quite easily go flat through this corner. It's a fourth gear corner, just make sure we get the line right. Very good, and then another block downshift. Do a lot of these in H-pattern cars, especially when you aren't using engine braking. Soft out of this. Our run up here will be critical for lap time, of course. Now we're going to be holding fourth gear for most of the way up here, just because fifth gear is a bit too long. Fifth gear is for the Dottinger Hoa, not for this part of the circuit. So we'll be holding about 289, 290 k's all the way up here. There you go, see my guy's resting his hand on the blooming gear shift like an absolute baller. Then we're going to left foot brake through here, blend off, back onto the throttle. Right to the exit there, carrying about 240 k's on exit, not too bad. Again, the same sort of deal through here, but a bit less. And now we go down to second gear, and actually get down to first gear. And the run up to the carousel. Soft on the exit again, first gear, lots of power underneath your right foot when you do that. Down to second, down to first. Now watch my right foot through here. It's all about getting as much throttle as possible, but not holding any sort of constant input, because the car wants to spin. You can't let it. Now this part of the circuit is so fun in this car. Very scary though. Fourth gear up the hill, bit of understeer, going to go back down to third now. Just thread the needle through this part of the circuit. Avoid those big curbs. Second, again, avoid the curb on the inside. Tempering nice and early there, or you understeer. Third gear. Now this is where you have to really concentrate in every car. You're right on the edge of where the downforce is. There isn't much downforce here. It's all mechanical grip, and you have to just use as much of the circuit as possible. Second gear over the crest. Nail the throttle. Keep it in second. Use the engine braking down the hill. Again, just whenever you get a possibility, just get on the gas. Right to the exit curve. Keep it in second through here. All the power right at the top, so we aren't losing much by not shifting. Third gear, just that's a little bit too far away for keeping it in second. Nice and tight through this section. Don't use the curb on the right. This car is a blast to drive. Okay, just a small dab of the brakes over this little jump. Back on again. Oh, understeer. It's okay, but downforce will save us. Will it? Now we keep it flat. This is the scary bit. You can hear the car creaking. Doesn't like this. Again, my guy just resting his hand on the gear shift like an absolute unit. Bring it in. Second gear. Such a difficult corner, this one, the camber changes. Usually I try and keep it in second through here, but I think first is going to be better just for the exit. Spat out a bit early. Nail the throttle. What's that time at right now? 550. 530 even, sorry. There's a chance we can beat the 962. That would be an upset. Soft on the way in. And now nail the throttle. There's the exit. Go, go, go. Come on, primary Randolph. Shift at 8.9k RPM. 300 kilometers. We'll see about 310 at the peak down here. 26 seconds to get underneath the 962. It's looking like it's going to be possible. Losing out a bit in the straight line though. Come on, Mazda. Braking here is very important. Down to third, carry the speed, down to second. Go! It's 624.9. Underneath the 962 by about a second. Now, I want to talk about that before we get into it. The reason why I think I went faster than the 962 is not because this car is better, it's because I am better at this circuit now. So maybe we'll rerun that at some point, because as much as I love this 787B, it is not faster than the 962 around here, categorically, but still, a 624 is a really nice time around here. I'm sure there could be time to gain. I was a bit messy in some places, but that was a lot of fun. The experience of driving this car is, in my mind, worth the lack of performance anyway. But guys, Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to hit the old like button, maybe subscribe as well, and of course hit the notification icon to be notified, well, get an email or whatever whenever I make a new video or go live on streaming. I want to say a massive thank you for 80,000 subscribers. The 100k dream isn't looking like a dream anymore, I'll say that much. But thank you so much for watching, take care, have an awesome day, I'll see you all next time.